Today on the Ask BP podcast, we're talking about borrowing money from family and friends. How do you set that up so you don't destroy both your business and your relationship? Stay tuned.
You're listening to another BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast, where you'll hear short, direct answers to your biggest real estate questions. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forums by using hashtag AskBP. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing and other great content when you sign up for your free account at BiggerPockets.com. With that, let's get to the show.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? My name is Brandon here with the Ask BP podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today we're talking about borrowing money from family and friends. The question actually comes from Scott from Denver, who said, when it comes to borrowing money or partnering with family or friends, how should you set it up to protect both the business and the friendship? All right, Scott, so let me see if I can shed a little bit of light on this. First of all, when I borrow money from family and friends, the first thing I do, I make sure that I always only borrow from people who could afford to lose it. In other words, I don't want great Aunt Betty losing her retirement and her life savings and going bankrupt because she lent me some money on a flip. That's just a terrible idea. So I want to treat anybody that I borrow money from with the same carefulness that I would anybody else. I want to make sure that they're secure and that they're comfortable with lending the money. Not that they're going to lose it all, but just in case they did, I don't want that awkward Thanksgiving dinner. So I want to only borrow from people who have money to invest. So I just keep that in mind. Not everybody makes a good private lender or a good partner. Just keep that in mind. So watch who you borrow from. Next, I kind of hinted on this already, but treat that partner or that lender, that family member, friend, like a business partner, and that's it. I mean, don't treat it like a hobby or just you're borrowing money from Aunt Elna or whatever. Treat it like you mean it, like it's a business. The same way, if you were meeting a complete stranger who wanted to invest in your company, how would you present the deal to them? How would you talk about the deal? How would you dress when you meet them? What kind of paperwork would you prepare? So just treat them like you would any business partner and do it right. Next, make sure everything is in writing. In very specific writing. Now, I know it's like, it will seem kind of weird, right? Especially if you're borrowing money from a close friend or family member, like your parents, let's say. They'd be like, we don't need all this paperwork junk, just, I'll just give it to you, or whatever. Don't do that. I know that tendency will be do it because it will feel weird to sit down and sign all these documents and to write everything out, but trust me, people forget very easily what was agreed upon and what was talked about, and you don't want those bad feelings to show up later. So be very, very careful and write everything down. And then take everything you wrote and make sure an attorney reviews everything. Make it official. This isn't just for your own, safety and security, like having it legal. It's also because it makes it more legit in the eyes of the person who's lending you the money. Because you don't want it a month from now or 3 months from now, them being like, you know what, I'm actually gonna buy a new car. Can I get that money back? And then they don't understand that it was a business transaction. And you're like, well, we signed a 2-year note on this. And they're like, oh yeah, but I need that new car, so I'm just gonna need that back. Then it gets weird. So with family and friends, make sure everything gets done very, very professionally and legally, and it will help protect both your business and your friendship or your relationship with that party. And then also, when you actually begin working with them, update them regularly. Like, let them know how the project's going, what's going on with it, send them pictures if you can, whatever you're gonna do to make them feel comfortable. It'll help you help them to be assured about what you're doing and to make sure that you are doing a legit job. So just be careful there. Borrowing money from family and friends is not always a good idea. Some people flat out would never do it. I've done it. It's something that it comes down to the family and friend, I think, what kind of relationship you have. So if you have a good enough relationship and if they can afford to invest with you, I think working with family and friends is not a terrible idea. You just have to make sure you do it right. So keep that in mind. With that, we're going to get out of here. But today's success quote comes from good old author Stephen King, who wrote, "Talent is cheaper than table salt. What separates the talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work." I like that a lot. I think Stephen King's a good writer, but he's also a wise guy there. He knows that success takes work. I mean, a lot of people can do a lot of things. I'm actually recording this right now. I mentioned on another episode, but I'm recording this here at Harvard in Boston, or in Massachusetts anyway. And, there's a lot of smart people around here. I'm just kind of on vacation out here, and there's a ton of smart people out here. So clearly talent is everywhere. There's a lot of people that could do great things. I mean, everywhere. But are you going to be the kind of person that actually does it, who puts in the hard work needed? I hope so. So with that, let's get out of here. Remember, in your pursuit of your goals and your dreams and your real estate ambitions, don't just learn like you're doing today, but go take action and do it today. With that, let's get out of here. For the Ask BP podcast, I'm Brandon, signing off.
You've just heard another episode of the BiggerPockets Ask BP podcast. Submit your question today on Facebook, Twitter, or the BiggerPockets forum by using hashtag AskBP. And for more incredible real estate investing tools and education, including a free download of our book, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Real Estate Investing, head over to BiggerPockets.com and sign up for your free account today. We'll see you on the next show.